Friday, December 27th. In this episode, we're going to look at our indicators and see what they should be telling us if we are indeed going to be going through an uptrend like this, or if we are instead going to be into a downtrend, something like this. And the purpose of this stream is to map out what would the indicators be telling us if we're going one way or the other. We should be able to map that out in advance and know what our indicators are going to tell us as the orchestra plays this tune or that tune. We should be prepared in advance with our strategy. Starting off with the weekly relative strength index, we can see that this has a really great straight line. If it breaks that line, that's going to be very bullish. However, if we break below these lines, that's going to be very bearish. As we check out the weekly view of the unbalanced volume, what I'm looking for here is a change to the positive from this negative selling. A change to the positive here for us to really be able to turn and go higher. As we're looking at the weekly MACD, it's important to note that the MACD has gone below the mid-level and then down deeply before turning around on each of the bottom formations after our downtrends. We went really deeply on this, and we haven't done that yet in the current MACD indicator. However, if this does cross positive and pull itself up without going that deeply, this is going to be an enormously bullish turnaround. So watching for this to cross is an incredibly important indicator. The Ichimoku cloud is in a bearish stance. We are below the cloud. Even though the cloud is twisted green, which is kind of bullish, we have the conversion line is below the baseline, which is another bearish setup here. The trailing indicator has cut through almost everything in a bearish stance as well. So I anticipate this will take us a while to get us up and through this cloud. When we go to the Bollinger Bands, we can see that as we are below the midline of the Bollinger Band, it is a bear trend. As we're below this level, and we can pull this back to see that in the past, as we were below this level, this is what the bear trend was. And it wasn't until we got up above that midline that the bull trend actually came in. So again, just like the MACD crossover, getting this to cross over the midline is going to be really important for our turnaround. So now back to our other chart. If we are going to be turning around here, then this should be a bottom formation that should start to show itself on the shorter time frames and then work its way into the weekly where it's going to really confirm. So let's jump into the daily and the 12-hour time frame for each of these charts. Starting off with the relative strength index, I'll zoom in now to the daily time frame. And what we're watching for here now is this divergence that has been setting up beautifully. We've got lower lows going on and we've got higher lows in the RSI all the way along here. The main key thing that we're watching for on the daily is the break of these trend lines here. So going down below this level as prices are breaking is going to continue more bearish action for sure when this RSI confirms it. And then on the other hand, the RSI has made these higher lows, and should it cross up above here and then above these levels, this will coincide with prices breaking above this, and that is what we're looking for in this indicator. Let's go to the daily time frame of the on-balance volume. I don't imagine this is going to give us really a great deal of information, except that it's going to tell us when that buying has really kicked in, and we haven't seen it yet. So when we compare to what happened before we went bull, this is not it. We are still having overall selling going on this period of time here. We're not setting up to go higher. Let's zoom in on the MACD and see what it's telling us. Right now, the daily MACD is crossed to the positive and holding a bullish stance. So should that continue and keep continuing and these histograms start to grow bright green and stronger, this is going to be confirming as we're breaking above these levels. An important key here is that this will cross to the negative and the weekly will stay spread negative and go deeper if we are going more bearish. The Ichimoku cloud, of course, when we zoom into the daily time frame, what I'm watching for now is a sell signal in the downtrend. So right now we have the conversion line is crossed over the baseline, which is kind of bullish. And this would be the very beginning of the bullish 1, 2, 3 bottom turnaround, is that cross and turnover. But it must make its way up through the cloud now in order to confirm, and this cloud must twist positive. If those things don't happen, then the prices come up into these ranges, and then the blue line crosses back below the red line. That blue line cross below the red line is the sell signal in the Ichimoku downtrend. So as this crossed, there's your sell signal. As this crossed, there's your sell signal. So what we're watching for now is this blue line to come above the red and then recross it now for our sell signal. The Bollinger Bands, zooming into the daily time frame, this is less certain to me. What I'm really watching for here has already occurred, is when we get down in between these second and third standard deviations of this particular band. This is what I'm watching for. While it's in the middle, I'm just paying attention. Is it above the middle or below the middle? Nothing here to give us details. Let's go and zoom in on the relative strength index one more level. So we go into the 12-hour time frame. Again, I'm watching for much the same thing as the daily. We have these really clear levels that should it be breaking and holding itself above this, that is really bullish, but I'm anticipating it's probably going to be coming down here just because of so many bearish factors right now. But we know what we're watching for. When we zoom into the 12-hour on balance volume, I'm trying to see if it's switching to positive buying volume through this period overall, and really, no, it isn't. Even through these moves up here, it didn't register as positive buying volume here for me, so not really bullish. Let's go into the 12-hour time frame of the MACD, because this is where it starts to get really key. The 12-hour has crossed negative. So should the 12-hour pull the one daily view into a negative view and continue in its negative histograms here, I'm afraid that's very bearish for where we're standing right now. And the 12-hour Ichimoku is a little bit more bullish, but we're watching for much the same thing as the daily. The conversion line is crossed above the baseline, and now it's easing back. If that crosses below the red line as we're easing off, there is our sell signal, and I anticipate that this would twist back to the red again here as that occurred. So should the green start to thin up and go as prices are moving up above these levels, and the blue stays wide from the red, those are all of the early indicators of the bullish stance, and the 4-hour should be showing us that if that is starting to occur. Now in the Bollinger Bands, I'm going to go into the 12-hour time frame, and I'm looking for much the same thing. It's in the midline. I'll just pay attention and watch it. Let's zoom in one more time on the relative strength index into the 4-hour time frame. So again, we're watching for this to hold itself from these levels. If it can get up above these levels, it looks good, but if it breaks down below these levels, I don't like these exhaustion wicks, these reversal hammers, whatever you call them. This is all looking bearish to me, even on the 4-hour time frame for the RSI. And do we have any positive volume in the 4-hour? We do. This actually turned to positive volume, and we do have a little bit. On this time frame, we are getting a little bit, but it's less and less and less buying volume, so it's not convincing me here. Let's go into the MACD on the 4-hour time frame. The 12-hour is already negative. The 4-hour crossed negative, and I want to point out that this is a potential 1, 2, 3 top formation, and that the 4-hour MACD crossed right there just after the number 1 point. Typical of that indicator coinciding with these 1, 2, 3 patterns. The other thing I want to notice is that we have this double top, and it failed at both of these tops here. So it really needs to cross back positive and pull ourselves back up in order to change this to a bullish stance. And we have to see those things. We go into the 4-hour time frame. All right, now we were looking for this in the bigger time frames, but here it is in the shorter time frame where we had the blue cross above the red. Dun, 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 and now it's crossed back below, which is the sell signal. And it really matches here on the 4-hour time frame with that sell signal on the MACD right there as we came up to this level. Very cool to see this and the MACD matching up. And then when we go into the 4-hour when we go into the 4-hour Bollinger Bands, right here at the same time on the 4-hour time frame, now we have 3 indicators lining up. The Bollinger Bands are giving us the mean reversion sell signal. The Ichimoku cloud is giving us the crossover right there, sell signal. The MACD is giving us the crossover and the sell signal right there after and confirming the Bollinger Band mean reversion. And the volume doesn't really give us anything. It's not that important of an indicator for me. The RSI was looking pretty good. It didn't give us a really negative divergence right at this spot, but it did get up into a very overbought territory. So as it hit the 77 range of overbought, it was in the mean reversion sell signal in the Bollinger Band, and the other two indicators were giving us notice. And finally, another reason that I'm bearish from where we are is the number of longs that we have built up on the market since we hit this bottom and we've gone sideways. They've gone up extremely, where the shorts went up for a short period and then they took their profits, I don't know, and they are really not hammering the market very much at all. Generally, the crowds are wrong, and if that is the case, then all of these longs are wrong and all of these shorts are wrong, and the price is going to be going down. Everybody's expecting that the halving in Bitcoin is going to make the prices go way, way up. But I think instead it's going to cause a great deal of depression and bad news throughout the whole market. It's going to just sag everything down because there isn't enough profit in the miners. And that's why I believe that we are going to have this long bit of a down depression here before we work our way back up because of the inevitable qualities of Bitcoin. It will work its way back up to these old highs. So I don't know. I really don't know. And my mission here is to map out the indicators day by day so that as it happens, we can find things that are coordinating like we did today that gives us a very specific trading signal. Beautiful, great lesson. Even though we couldn't have traded it this time, or we didn't trade it this time, it is something that we can keep under our belt now. And so in review, most everything looks bearish from where we are standing right now, and I would anticipate prices are going to be coming down more. I think the highlight from this episode is going through all of the time frames and then finding how a very specific trading signal lined up on the 4-hour time frame for us, and it was very bearish. And we can anticipate that that same kind of coordinated lineup of all of these indicators is going to match with a bottom formation as the 4-hour or the 12-hour Bollinger Band is doing a mean reversion. We should be seeing the 12-hour of MACD crossing positive. We should see all of the other indicators giving us coordinating signals at the same time. And I want to close the episode with a look at what's going on with Bitcoin dominance and a little bit of what's going on with the alts. Through this last several months, we've had the great fortune of the altcoins moving up and then pulling back, moving up and then pulling back. And through this period of time, they've uncovered which of the altcoins have investor interest. Even though the market trend is pulled back, it's revealed which of the coins have investor interest and which of the coins just laid flat through this entire period. And our unique research will give you the edge to select which coins have already proven themselves through 2019, which coins have the projects that are working, and which are the coins we should just wait on them and see if they do pick up. But we already have a short list of which of the coins that we anticipate are going to be coming into alert status and hold status over the next couple weeks as this all unfolds. So even though we're at this precarious spot with a little bit of bearishness in the market, it's important to know that this is where the opportunities are. This is the time to get into these opportunities and sort through it, not after it's already moved. Don't FOMO in afterwards. Do the research now. We have the opportunity, and I believe our spreadsheet is going to give you that edge. That wraps it up for today's episode of the 24 Hours of Bitcoin. Be sure to hit the subscribe button, click on the links in the description down below, and find out more about our Bull Market Watch spreadsheet and how it can help you take advantage of the altcoins this season.